Remember the stories. Maybe from your grandparents, or maybe just from history books. Black and white photos of children in iron lungs, rows and rows of them, their small bodies encased in metal cylinders, only their heads visible. For decades, this was the terrifying reality of polio. A virus that stalked summers, turning playgrounds into places of fear. It paralyzed thousands of children every single year, stealing their mobility, their childhoods, and sometimes, their lives. It was a global scourge, a relentless enemy that respected no borders, no class, no creed. And then, something incredible happened. Humanity decided, as one, that this was unacceptable. Scientists like Jonas Salk and Albert Sabin dedicated their lives to finding a weapon against this invisible foe, but their genius alone wasn't enough. What followed was one of the largest public health campaigns in human history. It was a mobilization of will, of resources, of people. Think about the sheer scale of it. Millions of volunteers, from doctors and nurses to ordinary citizens, fanned out across the globe. They went to bustling cities, remote villages, and communities that had never seen a modern healthcare worker before. They administered millions upon millions of vaccine doses, often just to simple drops on a sugar cube. A tiny shield against a devastating disease. It wasn't easy. There were logistical nightmares, cultural barriers, and moments of doubt. But the mission was clear. The goal was shared, to protect the world's children. In the face of a common enemy, we put aside our differences. Countries that were political rivals collaborated. Communities that were suspicious of outsiders opened their doors. People trusted science, and they trusted each other. It was a testament to what we can achieve when we focus our collective energy on a shared goal, on a common good. And within a single generation, we did it. We pushed polio to the brink of extinction. A disease that once paralyzed hundreds of thousands annually is now endemic in only a handful of places. We achieved the impossible. We looked at a global catastrophe and said, no more. We proved that when we work together, there is almost no challenge too great, no mountain too high to climb. We saved millions of lives and futures. It stands as one of our species' proudest moments. A shining example of our potential for cooperation, compassion, and progress. So, let's hold that thought for a moment. That feeling of immense pride in what humanity can do. Now, look around. Look at the world we live in today. After proving we could unite to conquer a physical disease, we seem to have turned our genius for creation inward, but for destruction. We found new and old reasons to fear, to resent, and to hate each other. The same species that built a global network of trust to deliver a vaccine now builds digital walls to insulate ourselves in echo chambers of outrage. We communicate more than ever before, but do we understand each other any better? It seems we've become experts at highlighting our differences rather than celebrating our common humanity. We draw lines in the sand over politics, nationality, race, religion, any distinction we can find to label someone as other. The very ingenuity we used to map the polio virus genome is now used to create algorithms that amplify division and misinformation, feeding us a steady diet of content that confirms our biases and demonizes those who disagree. We've gone from trusting strangers with the health of our children to distrusting our own neighbors because they voted for a different political party. Isn't it a tragic irony? We defeated a virus that attacked the nervous system, only to surrender to a sickness of the spirit that paralyzes our ability to empathize. We cured the disease that withered limbs, but we nurture the hatred that withers the soul. Think about the energy we expend on conflict, the resources poured into weapons, the intellectual capital spent on propaganda, the emotional labor wasted on online arguments with strangers. Imagine if all of that energy, all of that passion and creativity were redirected. Imagine if we declared war not on each other, but on the real problems that still plague us. What if we tackled climate change with the same unified urgency we used to tackle polio? What if we decided, as a global community, that poverty and hunger are unacceptable? Just as we decided that childhood paralysis was unacceptable. What if we aimed to eradicate ignorance and despair with the same focused determination we used to eradicate a virus? The capability is there. We've already proven it. The blueprint for global cooperation exists. We have the technology, the communication networks, the intellectual firepower. We have everything we need to solve our biggest challenges, everything, it seems. Except the will to see the person behind the label, the will to listen before we condemn, the will to believe that our shared humanity is more important than our ideological differences, the will to choose unity over division, empathy over apathy, and love over hate. The story of polio is not just a story about a vaccine. It's a story about us. It's a reminder of who we are at our best. It's a mirror that shows us what we are capable of when we choose to act as one human family. But it also casts a harsh light on who we've become, content to bicker in our planetary home while the foundations crack around us. We haven't cured hatred. We haven't even really tried. Not with the same collective effort, but it's not an incurable disease, unlike a virus. Hatred is not a biological inevitability, it's a choice. It's a learned behavior. And anything that is learned can be unlearned. It begins with each of us, in our daily interactions. It starts with a conscious decision to reject the easy path of cynicism and division, and to take the harder, more rewarding path of understanding and connection. We cured polio, a monumental achievement, but our work is far from over. The greatest challenge still lies ahead, to cure the divisions within ourselves and between each other. The lesson is clear, the potential is undeniable. The question is, will we find the will to do it? Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing and joining the conversation below. Let's talk about how we can start building that will together.